Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make one of the popular dishes that I like to order when I go to dim sum restaurants called Mai Gai. Now, Mai in Chinese means sticky rice, and here's a bag of the sticky rice I will be using. It usually says glutinous rice or sweet rice when you buy it in the stores, and it's of course like the words, it's sticky, so it's kind of like a nice or comforting dish. And gai in Chinese means chicken, of course. So this is a sticky rice chicken dish that I think is made special because it's wrapped in lotus leaves, and that gives it a nice sort of fragrant flavor from the lotus leaves. So what we need to do first is we need to steam the sticky rice. What you do first is you get 2 cups of sticky rice. That will probably make about 4 of these final packets when we're done. So we're gonna soak the rice in for 2 hours, and then that kind of gets it ready to be steamed. Now I've already soaked this already. You can also soak it overnight, but really all you need is 2 hours. I've been soaking this already for 2 hours, and then I'm just gonna drain it, and then we're gonna put it into our steamer and get it cooking. Line your steamer with parchment paper. This will act as a way to keep the rice from dropping through the holes, of course. You want all the rice that you can get. Then just dump your rice in. So we're just going to cover up our rice, and this will cook, let me spread it out evenly. This will cook about 40 minutes, and that'll get it ready for us to sort of assemble the Mai Gai together. So 40 minutes is actually a pretty long time to sort of be cooking. So while that's cooking, we have time to sort of prep the other materials that we'll need to put together our Mai Gai. And of course, the main ingredient other than the rice is the lotus leaf. You buy the dried lotus leaves from Chinatown. They come in these really big packets, and lotus leaves are actually really huge. And you get a big pack, so you can be making Mai Gai for a bit of time. Like I said, I'm going to be making 4. Each lotus leaf comes out looking like this really big, huge thing. You have to be kind of careful working with it because they're dry. What you need to do is kind of get it palatable by sort of boiling it so that it becomes more easier to work with. Now, so here's a full lotus leaf. It has already that nice fragrance that's going to be imparted onto the actual rice. Now I'm just going to cut it smaller so it's easier to work with. I'm going to cut it in half. Now also what I also do sometimes is I'll cut off some of the edges that might be a little bit kind of broken or not really something that I want to have part of my final dish, just to make it a little bit more prettier. It's a pretty big leaf, so you could actually, you don't need to use every part of it. So here we have a boiling water in the wok, and here's my cut lotus leaf, and really all I'm going to do is just slip it in and then just try to get it all in the wok. And I'm just going to boil it in the hot boiling water for a few minutes until it softens and it kind of looks like the water is permeating the leaves. So this has been cooking for about 3 to 5 minutes. I just sort of take it out carefully. Be careful because the water is really steaming. I'm just going to let it rest into a colander that I have in my sink. Then I put in my next leaf and do the same thing where I try to get it all into the wok. get it submerged in the water, the boiling water. And I repeat the process for all my leaves that I need to make. So that's about. So now that our rice is done, we're gonna prep it so that it'll be tasty when we make our Mai Gai. And so we're gonna do a little bit of seasoning for our rice and then cool it off, and then we'll be ready to work on the filling. So for the rice itself, I'm gonna put some chicken bouillon, the powdered form, about half a teaspoon of that. About a tablespoon of sesame oil. The sesame oil will help to keep the rice actually from being not as clumpy. You know, it's already sticky rice, so it needs a little bit of help just to kind of get it all together. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of light soy sauce. This will help give it some flavor so the rice isn't bland. But I used a light soy sauce so that it doesn't turn my rice really dark. And then I also use about a quarter cup of water. But what I do is for the filling, I'm going to add some dried shrimp. And for dried shrimp, you need to soak it for about 5 minutes just to kind of get it a little softer. And then the water that you soak it in actually takes on some of that briny shrimp flavor. I think that's great to use, so why waste it? So I add that water into my mixture that I'm gonna season my rice with. Then I just kind of whisk those ingredients together, just to kind of mostly make sure that the chicken bouillon powder is dissolved a bit in the water. Then we're going to add our rice. One thing nice about putting the parchment paper is it makes it easier for me to grab the rice out from my steamer. That way I can get it all out together at one time. And then we just basically dump our rice into this seasoning. Hopefully not with a splash. Get my little rice thing, and basically now I just kind of mix it all together, breaking up the rice along the way. Just making sure that everything blends well. And then once I'm done getting it all mixed up, I'm just gonna set it aside and let it cool because it's gonna be hard to work with the rice when it's hot. So in the meantime, I'm gonna prep the filling, and the filling is gonna be really quick to make. The chicken, and there's gonna be some lapchung. I don't really cook it for very long because once we assemble the packets, then we're gonna steam and cook it for like 30 to 40 minutes again, so that'll also be more cooking. So, and also for the filling, we make it very small because we want it to be bite-sized. Alright, here's my rice. I'm gonna put it aside, and now we're gonna get started on our filling.